Let's be honest. Most of us think of contracts as this necessary evil, right? It's just a stack of paper you sign, file away, and then hope you never ever have to look at again. But what if I told you that exact thinking is quietly costing your business a fortune? Well, today we're going to flip that script. We're going to show you how to stop seeing contracts as a burden and start using them as your most powerful tool for success.
So let me ask you a question. Have you ever finished a huge project, you look at the final numbers, and you just get that sinking feeling in your stomach? You're thinking, wait a minute, where did all the profit go? You know it was there in the original plan, but somehow by the end it's just vanished. Well, here's the thing. The culprit usually isn't some big dramatic disaster. It's something way more sneaky. Profit doesn't just disappear in a puff of smoke. It leaks. It's like a leaky bucket. And some studies have shown that companies can lose almost 10% of their entire bottom line drip by drip by drip through thousands of tiny, seemingly harmless decisions made by the team every single day. And that brings us right to the heart of the matter, the contract. It's time we stop treating it like some dusty old legal document buried in a filing cabinet. It's time to see it for what it truly is, the quiet engine that's supposed to be driving your business forward. Because look, a contract is basically where all the promises you made, all that commercial intent, collides with the messy reality of actually getting the work done. You know, most contracts don't fail because of some complicated legal clause nobody understands. No, they fall apart in the day-to-day grind, when small choices are made without seeing the bigger financial picture. So, what's the fix? How do we solve this? Well, it's not about hiring an army of lawyers. It's actually about a fundamental shift in mindset for everyone on the team. And it really comes down to this. You've got the old way, right? That's where you sign the contract, you shove it in a drawer, and you just pray you never have to see it again. But the new way, the smarter way, is to treat that contract like a living, breathing playbook for success, an active tool you use every single day. So when we say contract management, what do we really mean? It's pretty simple, actually. It is the active, ongoing control of that agreement. It means you stop just reacting when things go wrong and you start proactively managing performance, steering through changes, and protecting the value of that deal from the minute it's signed. Basically, you're not just signing the contract anymore, you are running the contract. And you absolutely cannot have good contract management without this piece of the puzzle, commercial awareness. Honestly, this is the superpower. This is what happens when everyone on the team, from the project manager to the engineer on site, gets how their small, daily actions connect directly to the financial outcome. It's about connecting the dots between an operational choice and a business consequence. Okay, so let's dig into why this new way of working isn't just a good idea. It's absolutely critical right now. Because in today's world of tight margins and high stakes, this isn't some nice to have. This is about survival. Think about it. When you don't have this control, the costs are very, very real. And they probably sound familiar. Your margins get eaten alive by cost overruns. Small, little changes to the plan spiral completely out of control. You end up wasting time and money in damaging disputes. And it feels like there's zero governance, like no one's really accountable. But when you get this right, oh man, everything changes. All of a sudden, strong control brings clarity. It creates real accountability. You get predictable outcomes. There are so many fewer of those nasty surprises that ruin your week. And the impact on your bottom line, it's not just some theory, it's a real, measurable financial improvement. Okay, so that's the big picture. But let's bring it down to earth. What does this actually mean for you in your day-to-day job? What's in it for you personally? All right, if you're a project manager, this is basically your new toolkit for total control. You can finally get a handle on that scope creep that drives everyone crazy. You can use the KPIs that are already in the contract to track what's actually happening. And keeping records stops being boring bureaucracy and starts being your best safeguard. Best of all, you spot risks when they're small and you can still do something about them. Now, for all you client and account managers out there, this is how you walk that tightrope between keeping the client happy and keeping the business profitable. You can protect your margin while still having a fantastic relationship because you're managing expectations with total clarity. A simple phrase like, "Hey, that's a great idea, let's just check how that fits with the contract," can prevent a massive misunderstanding down the line. And if you're a technical expert, an engineer, a specialist of any kind, listen up. This doesn't water down your expertise. It actually makes it more powerful. You gain this incredible ability to recognize when a technical problem is about to become a commercial problem. You know exactly when to hit the pause button and say, "Hold on, guys, we need to escalate this before it gets out of hand."
Okay, but here is where this whole idea gets really, really exciting. Because this isn't just about playing defense and preventing problems from happening. This is about switching to offense and actively creating new value for the business.
You see, the exact same discipline that helps you prevent all those risks and disputes, that's the same discipline that helps you spot new opportunities. When you really understand the contract and you're watching the performance data, you start to see chances for value-added variations, for new upsell opportunities, and for innovative ways to get even better results. So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with 3 core truths. Seriously, if you remembered nothing else, remember these. Think of them as the fundamental rules for making this work in the real world.
First things first, contract management is not the legal department's job. It is a core management responsibility. It belongs to the project managers, the team leads, the people on the ground who are actually delivering the work. Second, and this is so important, commercial awareness is not some optional, nice-to-have skill for a few people at the top. In today's economy, it is a core professional capability, just as important as communication or problem-solving. It's not optional anymore.
And finally, maybe the most important truth of all. You can have the most perfectly written ironclad contract in the world, but on its own, it's worthless. It's just ink on paper. Good contracts don't manage themselves. People do. Active, engaged, and commercially aware people. That is the real secret to success. So, in the end, what we're talking about isn't just a new process or another box to tick. It's about a new essential literacy for the modern workplace. And honestly, mastering it is the single best way to turn your good intentions into consistently great results.